I think growing up, it's always difficult when you're growing up at school. You're following trends, you're trying to keep up with the next
Yeah.
new thing. And my parents will always tell me, no, don't try and fit in.
Okay. Okay.
Like if you have the shoes that are coming in, and you're like, oh, mum, I want them.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, you're not having those. But it's just because I didn't want to be following trends. I needed
Okay.
to set my own trend,
Yeah.
and so I think that's always been with me all the way through, and it's good because I feel like now I have so much more confidence because
Yeah.
of it.
Just imposter, imposter every time. Those free yourself.
Hi guys, welcome back to We Plug Good Music TV. My name is Eyah and you're tuning into our Behind the Music series where we'll be speaking with some of our favorite new artists and we'll be talking about their latest singles. Today, we're speaking with British singer, songwriter and producer Eyah Cohle, talking about her new single, Those Frames. Here we go. Eyah Cohle, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm really good.
Cool. Thank you for coming down. Before we usually start these interviews, I like to do a quick check-in with our guests. How's 2023 been so far for you?
2023 has been good so far.
Yeah?
No, it's been really good actually. First release out this year, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, building a foundation for the rest of the year, I would say.
Oh, nice. Okay. So before we jump into your new single, Those Frames, for the people that are watching or listening that may be meeting you for the first time, could you give us a bit of a backstory as to who Eyah Cohle is and how we got here?
How we got here. Okay. So I would say Eyah Cohle was kind of born last year. That's what I always say.
Okay.
I've always done music. It's always been part of my life, but it wasn't going to be the be all end all. Wasn't what I was going to do at the beginning. I went to uni, and I would say in uni I started going to jam nights, jam sessions, and I grew my confidence. I think that was a big thing.
Okay.
And then after uni, I kind of finished uni in that weird period of time where we were just going a bit.
Okay.
And so obviously we were locked down and I went back home and then I started writing a bit more than I had ever done before.
Yeah.
Started dabbling with production and getting to terms with that, and then I wrote my first full song. And then from there I was like, okay, cool, I want to do this.
Okay.
And then I had a gig and I said to myself, if it goes well,
Yeah.
okay, I'll take it seriously.
Okay.
And it did, and I was so happy on stage. And then, yeah, that's kind of where it stemmed from. And I started creating more, releasing more, and we're here today.
Nice. So I read you say that your plan was to work in the city and now you are doing music. Can you talk to us a bit about what comes with that? Seems like a huge change of plans. What comes with that transition for you?
Yeah, I think for me, because I look at my parents and they've both got big jobs in the city, working hard, and I think that was kind of what I always looked up to.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, cool, I'll go do that, follow them, and I was interested in what I was doing as well, and I thought I would go into marketing or something like that.
Okay.
But then the passion took over, I
Yeah.
guess, and that side won, and I didn't want to live in regret. I always knew that I wanted to go do something musical,
Okay.
knew I wanted to be in the music field,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was my passion and I would kick myself if I didn't try, so at least I can say that I've tried it.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love everything to do with the whole journey, so yeah.
Oh, sounds good. Thank you. So let's jump into Those Frames. I know that you say that when you share your music, you don't want to put a narrative in the listener's head, but we do have to ask, in your own words, can you tell us what this song is all about?
Yeah, this song is about, I would say, finding confidence in yourself. It's a song about comparison. I think it's so easy to compare yourself to everyone, and it's kind of just knowing yourself inside and not comparing yourself to others. Or if those comparisons happen,
Yeah.
be true to yourself and know what you're striving to achieve and don't let it taint what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think that's the essence of it, really.
Okay. Was there something in particular that perhaps sparked you to want to explore this particular topic?
Yeah, I think growing up, it's always difficult when you're growing up at school. You're following trends, you're trying to keep up with the
Yeah.
next new thing, and my parents will always tell me, no, don't try and fit in.
Okay.
Like if you're, you have the shoes that are coming in, and you're like, oh mum, I want them.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, you're not having those. But it's just because I didn't want to be following trends. I needed to set my own trends.
Yeah.
And so I think that's always been with me all the way through, and it's good because I feel like now I have so much more confidence because of it, because I don't mind if I stand out, I don't mind if I'm different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay, cool. And then the song also speaks to breaking the norm. Can you talk to us a bit about why and how that is important for you?
I think breaking the norm is important musically. That's the biggest thing. I always admire artists that you listen to their song and you're like, was that weird? But I kind of liked it. And just being unconventional, like I love Masego for that. I feel like he's really broken down a lot of stuff and then brought it together and does things that you wouldn't imagine. And I just think it's the imagination. That's what I love, is when you break the norm. It's probably when you're so creative and coming up with new different ways. Yeah.
Okay. And so what does that look like for you when you are making your own music?
I think collaboration is a big part of it. When I make a song, it's not just me having creative influence over it. I listen to a lot of different people. And I think growing up, I haven't just sung R&B, soul, I've sung classical, I've done theatre, and I love, like I was in choir, so I love harmonies, and so that kind of classical vibe comes into some of my stuff because I love to layer. So I think musically it's probably where I do that.
Okay, nice. All right, let's dive into some of the lyrics from those frames. So there are two lines that you have kind of pinpointed for us: pave the trail, don't be the dirt, and style yourself to fit the book. Can you unpack these lyrics for us and share why these two lines in particular resonate with you?
Yeah, I think pave the trail, this was a big line for me because when I wrote the song originally, I literally had one hook. It was probably about 3 sentences long, and that was it. And that was one of them. And I think it was at a time where I was trying to figure out who I was going to be as an artist, what I stood for, what my music direction was going to be. So that was kind of pave the trail, like, okay. And also if the trail's not there, pave it myself. Like I will make the trail, I'm not just going to sit there. So that was that line. And what was the second one again?
So style yourself to fit the book.
That's again the trend, following the trends.
Right.
You can style yourself to fit the book. You can, and the book is another reference of something else as well, like the Book of You, like it was a reference to that as well. But yeah, it's just, again, everyone's trying to style themselves to fit this idea and ideal, and the book is power as well, so that's kind of what that was about too.
Okay, nice. And then at the end of the song, you ask this question, who am I? But throughout the song, you are telling us to know yourself. So first of all, how or why did you end the song with who am I? But then, that question seems to contradict you saying know yourself, right? So.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. The song begins with who am I, and ends with who am I, and then obviously it's know yourself. But I think with that, I think a lot of people claim to know themselves, or know the idea of what they want to be and how they want to be perceived, but they might not actually know who they are. And so I think this song is kind of me trying to figure that out too. Being like, okay, I want to be like this is who I'm going to be as an artist, but then you go underneath it and you're like, wait, who am I, like who am I trying to so it's kind of like a check on yourself, I guess. Just ask that question again and see if you're being true to it.
So do you have an answer now.
Who am I? I'm Eyah Cohle. I would say it's a journey that I will never know completely who I am, I guess. Like, I feel along the way you learn more and more about yourself. And so I don't think it might not be a question that can be ever answered.
Fair dues.
But yeah, I'm learning.
Cool. That's cool. All right, let's dive into how the song came together. So, what was the creative process behind the making of this song?
Yeah. So as I said, I wrote a little hook at the beginning. It was during lockdown. I was just outside playing the same 3 chords I know on the guitar, and came up with this. And then I didn't touch it for about 2 years, I would say.
Okay.
And then that's when I started a little bit of production, and I came up with something. I was like, okay, cool. I think I've got something I can put on it.
Yeah.
And then from there, I built the song. I wrote the lyrics and everything, and I had I like to call it the skeleton of a beat.
Yeah.
And then the producer that I worked with, I sent it off to him, and we collaborated on it. He worked his magic.
Okay.
And yeah, that was kind of how it was created.
Cool. So this producer, just so I get his name right, is it Anyone the Wanderer. Anyone the Wanderer. The Wanderer. So what is it like working with him, and how did you guys meet, and what is that relationship like?
So we met through, he was on one of my friend's radio stations.
Okay.
And I reached out to him. I was a bit shy about it. I said to him, I was like, oh, do you know any producers that might be able to work with me on something? And he was like, hello.
Yeah.
I am one. And then I sent him some ideas, and he rocked with it. He really liked it. And he was like, okay, cool, like send the stems over, we'll work on this. And we only met last year, or maybe even this year, something crazy, and we'd been working for years.
Oh wow.
And we did everything over Discord, and he would have a screen up, he'd be like, okay, I'm doing this, me trying to learn, watching him. And yeah, it was amazing because, again, it's the collaboration. His idea of what the song was going to sound like was a bit different to mine, but he got what I would tell him what I'm going for, and somehow he would just do that and then some. So it was really cool working with him, like working on the music, because it was just, they got it. He got it.
Nice. All right, cool. So you say that you wouldn't describe yourself as a rapper, but you're rapping on this track, and you have called that verse one of your favorite parts on the song. So how did that come about, and why did you want to add that rap verse or that rap element onto the song?
So I would say rap's always been a big part of my life. My dad is a big hip hop, R&B soul head. Like, he loves hip hop. And so I think that's probably, I'm a bit shy to say like, oh, I'm a rapper now. But I think also the way that I wouldn't describe it as rap, because I feel like it's more singing, because I don't, like, my cadence isn't quite there, and I'm still singing. I'm just singing very low. I'm more talking over it. So that's why I wouldn't say it's rap. I also think that it's just, I'm still learning about it at the end of the day. And it's, again, me trying to break what I would normally do and push myself. Maybe one day I'll release a whole rap track. But it's one of my favorite bits, because I think it is different, and also the words that I say in it, it's really powerful to me. It's like, blinds down, blocked in a blank box. Again, like this being shut off from society. So I think, and no one expects it. That's also what I like, the transition into the rap, the non-rap rap. It's unexpected, I think, so that's why I like it.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay, and then you have also talked about you producing and, making beats as well. Can you speak to, how that came about, and why you would want to produce your own tracks, I guess.
Yeah. So like I said in lockdown, when we were going through lockdown, I bought my MIDI keyboard, my little one, and then started messing around on Ableton, and then I wasn't good. Like some of the beats I look at, I'm like, wow, we've come away. But I just really enjoyed it. Again, I love listening to tracks and zoning out the lyrics and the vocals and everything, and just actually trying to listen to every single part.
Yeah.
And I wanted to learn how to create that. And ideally, I would love to produce my own track fully. And I'm working on a little something. We'll see if it comes to light. But yeah, I just think to have a project that I've done myself is just a dream that I want to do for myself, and I enjoy it at the end of the day. So yeah.
Cool. So what has the feedback been so far for those frames, and how does that make you feel?
It's been great. It's been really good. I think the thing that I love the most about it is that I'll have someone reach out to me that I haven't spoken for ages, or like we've just grown apart naturally, and they'll come back and be like, hey, I listened to your song, like, it's great. I'm like, wait, you listen? That's mad. I love it. It's so great when that happens. And also just new audience coming in, and then I see people be like, oh, I resonate with the lyrics, or I could, when they tell me that they know what the song is about, that's a big one for me, because the way, I don't know how it's going to translate, and also I said, like, I don't like to put a narrative in people's head. I'm like, oh, you kind of guess, like, feel what you feel with it, and if they get it, I'm like, sick, I've done my job, I'm storytelling.
That's dope. That's dope. So the year is early still, but can you tell us, what is next for you? What are your plans for the rest of 2023?
Yeah, so next month there is a single coming out.
Nice.
So that's working towards that one. Very, very excited for this next one coming out. I feel like this is the song that introduces me as an artist. Weird that I'm releasing it late, but yeah. So that's the next thing. And then I'm just writing and working on production, and hoping that this summer I'm going to come out with a little summer vibe produced by me. So
Oh, nice. Yeah. Do we have a title for the next
Yes,
record?
It's called Encapsulating. It's special.
What can we expect from that song?
It's not like the others. It is it's more tribal, I would say. We've got a lot of drums, and like it's kind of an ode to my great granddad. That's why that's why it's really special to me. But it's about heritage, and
Nice. Okay, so I had this question asked elsewhere, but I took it. As we round down, can you tell us something that you have read or been reading or watched or listened to recently that you found interesting and you might want to recommend to us, and why?
Ooh, okay, recommend as well. I listened to a podcast, I think it was like a Diary of a Seer, I can't remember who was on it. And they were talking about the pursuit of comfort and how they thought it was absurd. And that, it kind of just, I don't know, it triggered something in me. I was like, wait, let me think about that a bit more, like this idea of how just being comfortable, like a lot of people look to just be comfortable, but that it was crazy to do that. And I was like, wait, but am I a bit like that? Do I just look for comfort? Or so that was something that stuck out to me in my head. I would love to write about that. I think that's an idea that I've definitely latched onto. And then I went to a talk actually yesterday. It was Little Sims and Irene from TTYA Talks, and it's one thing they said was about community and the people that they have around you, and they were talking about networking because it was kind of a networking event. And they said, well, Irene said your community can be overlooked, like the people that you have around you. Although networking is good and like going to talk to people higher, sometimes we forget like who's in the room and that our family, our friends can all help us out and they're willing to as well. But you just got to ask them the question, like it's not an inconvenience, because I think you might be like, oh no, I don't want to, she's got a lot going on, like I don't want to ask her. But I think that was something that stood out to me because I've always been one to say, like, just ask them. Like, or they're just gonna say no. It's okay. It's okay. So I think I didn't think about reaching out to my community as much as like I should be. So that was kind of something that stood out to me.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Thank you for that. So this is now becoming our customary final question for our series. So for people that are just finding out about you through this conversation and they want to go back and hear more, what songs or what one song should they start with and why?
Okay, so if
not those frames, apart from those frames.
If you're finding me next month, like April, go listen to the song that's coming out. Because I would say that really shows me. That's Eyah Cohle right there. I mean, I say my name enough times in that song, so. But if that's not out, then I would say go listen to Unknown Hierarchy. It's the first one I put out. It's the first one I properly finished, and I think that song is, again, it's about finding yourself and finding your feet and being okay with who you are and like just accepting. So I would say that one.
Cool. Before I let you go, can we be looking forward to any visuals from you from the past songs or from the upcoming single? Like, what's the plan there?
Yeah, the upcoming single, there might be a little something, but we'll see.
Cool. All right, thank you so much for coming down
me
to speak to us. Where can the people find you on the big bad web?
So my name is Eyah Cohle. That's Eyah Cohle, and it's the same for everything. Instagram, Spotify, all of them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming down to speak to us.
Make the name